of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave my home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Good morning. Alrighty. So this morning we're going to look at a passage of scripture from the book of Romans chapter 12. And so they're telling us about giving living sacrifices, our body as living sacrifice. And then it says here in verse 12, chapter 12, verse 1, it says, therefore, I urge you, brothers, in view of God's mercy, all the things that God has done for us, He's doing His best to get you to understand here that you do things that are in line with the will of God. That is what is important. Thinking about the mercy of God, the love of God. So it says, in view of God's mercy, that we know God's mercy, said to offer your bodies as living sacrifices, holy and pleasing to God. You know, we should be happy to go in front of God, speak on behalf of God, go and tell people about God, and to do things that are in line with salvation for ourselves and for those people out there. It says, holy and pleasing to God. We need to define what holy is and what pleasing to God is. And of course, it is devoid of sin. That's what they talk about holy. Holy is living a life that is not, we know many people want to redefine sin, especially when that is active in their lives.
Grandpa.
Yes, ma'am.
What is me?
Especially the sin that the person is practicing, they don't want that to be considered as sin. No matter how many people you have in your family who are homosexual, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that you're a homosexual. That you want to change the word of God and you want to make unholy things or unrighteous things righteous and holy. We cannot do that. The Bible is telling us here that we're supposed to do things that are holy and pleasing to God. That's what it is saying. Not only for individuals, but as a nation. As a nation. So this is your spiritual act of worship. This is how we worship God, by the way we secure, the way we protect ourselves from unholy things. That is how we do that. It says, do not conform any longer to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your minds. It's a famous verse. People remember this all the time. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. You see, you can't be doing old things. You can't be trying to retool God. You can't be telling people, oh, well, the God at this. I know I've heard people say that. Right? People say that. When you challenge them on certain things, then they come and try to redefine who God is. God is the same yesterday, today, and tomorrow. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind with God. And look at the book of Micah that we are studying. And in chapter 6, they're just so powerful. God is saying, you want me to overlook the wrongs that you're doing? So that won't happen. The unfair skills that you're using, you'd have to pay for it. The stealing, the violence, and all those things that you do to take things from people that you're not supposed to, I will deal with it. When you try to hide, that when I put up against you my judgment, I will come at it with violence. And those things are very, very clear. But positive, but God says, renew your mind. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Be transformed by the renewing. And don't conform any longer to this world. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is. His good will, pleasing and perfect will. then you will see, because the hands of God, people don't understand. Us who teach the word of God and people who live by the word of God are blessed. So the Bible has a thing in here and says that as you people continue to teach you and you fall in line, that you're supposed to share your blessing with them. Because it's telling you you're going to be blessed. You're going to be blessed. I am a blessed man. I'm a blessed man. And when I look at my life now, I could never have envisioned my life like this when I was growing up. My life is much, much different from that. You know, God has truly blessed me, opened doors for me. He provides for me. So as I continue to teach the word of God, and I tell you, I can't wait sometimes when I'm in church to do my part. I can't wait. I want to get to it so badly. I want to teach the word of God. I want to teach people about God. Just as I'm doing here. Be ye transformed by the renewing of your minds. I can remember sometimes when I was teaching at Sacred Heart, I was still a young, wild young man. And I said and did some things that I am so embarrassed about now. I'm so embarrassed. And some of those people, I can't even go back to them and say, hey, you know what? God put some very wonderful older people around me. And because I wasn't a guy who was involved with some things, but I look at everything that I did that wasn't right. And I'm sorry I did those things. My heart is not for that. My heart is for something different now. And I feel like God has transformed me. I'm really and truly happy for the transformation that God has put in my life.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the isles and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
Did you hear about the beef?
No, what happened?
I'm making meatloaf.
No.
Lewis is making meatloaf. Joel's making burgers. Anthony's making burgers.
For the bread, we are doing croutons, and the bread soak it with milk, and that will embrace the flavor for the meatloaf to make it juicy.
It's hot.
We have to let go one of them, you know. So I wish them good luck to the other contestants for the final.
Proudly sponsored by Grill Master, Beef Masters, Rustino's Imports, and PlusTV. Other sponsors include Tri Fitness Club, Alan Paradise Hotel.
Pletz Home Builders is the largest house building company in Belize. Pletz combines the best skilled workers, high-grade materials, and the latest technology to produce the highest quality wooden residential structures. Request any size, color, and the home layout you want. Choose from hardwood or painted metal outer walls. Pletz can modify any of your existing house plans to your satisfaction, complete with all the installation services you need anywhere in the country, including ambergris key. They can also lift your house to your desired height up to 9 feet. From properly treated and cured lumber to quality sidings and floorings, let Pletz Home Builders give your home the finish you need. For prices or questions, call 823-0398 or go to www.pletzhomebuilders.com. Pletz Home Builders, we build to suit your needs.
Hello Bemopan, welcome back to the second segment in this series of the Trade License Act 2024. I'm Councillor Chris Enriquez, and today we'll be discussing your business productive footprint and how it impacts your trade license fee. Let's break it down. Your business's productive footprint is the square footage of the area where your operations are conducted. It excludes common spaces such as agricultural lands, lobbies, restrooms, stairways, parking lots, storerooms, and shared hallways, unless they are used for profit. Your business falls under an economic classification based on your business type. This classification, as well as your zone, will further determine the rate applied to your business.
Hi, I'm Lauren Milton. I'm the Evaluation Manager here at the Bemopan City Council. I know a lot of people keep wondering what we're measuring when we visit their business. So let's take a closer look at what productive footprint looks like for the different types of businesses. As you can see, we measure the area used for business purposes only. This includes retail space, dining areas, or workspaces. For example, here's how the productive footprint is calculated for a coffee shop, a supermarket, and an office space, specifically an accounting firm. Let's take a coffee shop for instance. Here we see the kitchen, the bar, and the dining areas as productive space. What's noteworthy here is that a restaurant and an ice cream parlor has similar productive space as a coffee shop. Next, we have a supermarket. For this business, we measure the entire retail floor, including aisles, checkout counters, and display areas. The storerooms and employee break areas are excluded since they are not used to generate direct sales. Lastly, we look at an accounting firm office. The productive footprint here includes the client reception, conference rooms, and workspaces where the business's services are provided. Excluded are areas like break rooms, restrooms, kitchen, and non-operational storage. As you can see, productive footprint is the usable square footage where your business is conducted. This excludes common areas like lobbies, restrooms, and parking spaces, except in cases where these areas are used for profit. Remember, productive footprint looks different for different businesses, so be sure to accurately measure your premise to ensure your fees reflect your footprint. It is important to note that Schedule 8 of the Trade Licensing Act sets fixed trade license fees for specific classifications such as traveling professionals and auto dealers.
Knowing your economic classification and accurately measuring your productive footprint isn't the only factor in your trade license process. You must also consider that there are 4 municipal zones and that your business is located in one of them. Each zone has a different guideline that will affect the rate applied to your trade license fee. As a reminder, the new Trade License Act takes effect on January 1st, 2025. Businesses without a trade license by then are subject to penalties and fees. So we encourage everyone to apply early before the deadline, December 31st, 2024. Stay tuned to our next segment where we will answer your key questions. Thank you for watching, and let's build a prosperous Bemopan together.
Start the new year with big savings on your 2025 property taxes. From January 1st to March 31st, 2025, the Belize City Council is offering incredible property tax discounts that you won't want to miss.
Prepay your annual property tax by January 31st, 2025 and enjoy 15% off. Pay by February 28th and you'll save 10%. And if you pay by March 31st, you'll still enjoy a 5% discount. But wait, there's more. Senior citizens can enjoy a fantastic 35% discount upon full payment of property taxes for the property they reside on all year round. Please note, these discounts are available only to property owners who are up to date with their accounts. As you take advantage of this discount, we kindly remind all property owners of your responsibility to visit City Hall or utilize our online platform to complete your payments and to ensure your contact information is accurately updated in our system. For more details on these incentives, visit our Belize City Council Facebook page or give us a call at 227-3073, extension 261 or 264. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Attention Belmopan residents. This is an important reminder regarding the proper disposal of debris in our community. As per Statutory Instrument Number 122 of 2005, Section 10, Subsection B, residents are strictly prohibited from placing debris on the buffers. Violating this regulation is considered a ticketable littering offense. Residents are encouraged to use private contractors or contact the Belmopan City Council to make arrangements for debris disposal. If you need assistance with debris disposal, please contact the Sanitation Department at 822-2271, extension 2019. This message is brought to you by the Belmopan City Council. Let's work together to keep our beautiful city clean and safe. Thank you for your cooperation.
City residents, civic pride is all our responsibility. It's about taking ownership of our city and embracing its beauty. But amidst this beauty lies a growing concern: the continuous destruction of city property. And a part of civic pride is taking care of public property. Therefore, the Belize City Council takes this time to remind city residents that these acts are not just vandalism. They are crimes against rights to property and criminal damage to property. Under Chapter 101 of the Criminal Code within the substantive laws of Belize, a person who, without lawful excuse, destroys or damages any property belonging to another, intending to destroy or damage such property, or being reckless, shall be guilty of a crime. Upon conviction, a person can face up to 1 year imprisonment. We must all do our part to safeguard what belongs to all of us, what belongs to our city. Together, we can make a difference. This is our city. Let's respect it. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
So when we face God, you know something. We're not thinking of the love of the Lord.
Spice up your next event with professional lighting. Call 610-5679 and give your audience an experience they'll never forget. Proper stage lighting ensures stage visibility, motivates, and sets the mood of the atmosphere. We provide services for weddings, concerts, parties, dance recitals, and much more. Captivate your audience. Improve your production today. Call Shamax Productions at 610-5679 for quality and professional stage lighting.
Cyber Realty
Realty and Development is the leader in providing solutions to the current land crisis in Belize. For homeowners and investors alike, Cyber Realty is offering special deals on half-acre parcels in its new Emery Village development. Enjoy prime land off mile 37 on the George Price Highway at an unbeatable price. All you need is the initial down payment of $275 Belize dollars. Take advantage and reserve your half-acre home sites today. Emery Village. Join the community. Invest in your future.
Did you hear about the beef?
No, what happened?
I'm making meatloaf.
No.
Lewis is making meatloaf. Joel's making burgers. Anthony's making burgers.
For the bread, we are doing croutons, and the bread will soak it with milk, and that will embrace the flavor for the meatloaf to make it juicy.
It's hot.
We have to let go one of them, So I wish them good luck to the other contestants for the final.
Proudly sponsored by Grill Master, Beef Masters, Rustino's Imports, and PlusTV. Other sponsors include Tri Fitness Club, Alan Paradise Hotel.
Blessed Gardens is servicing home gardens across the country from the nation's capital and helping Belizeans reconnect with nature. We have everything you need for your home garden, so get growing. We have various types of soils: fortified soil, composted soil, potting soil, and pure compost for your garden. We have quality seeds and over 65 varieties of food seedlings for your garden. We even have organic insecticides available, EM soil treatment, and Polyshade for your excessive sun or rain. Blessed Gardens has all your garden solution in one location. Call 610-5679. Visit us at the Bamapan Market Plaza or enjoy our free deliveries across the country. Blessed Gardens. Get growing, Belize.
Are you hosting an event for your school, church, business meeting, conference, private function, and are in need of a PSS stamp? Then call 610-5679 and have one thing less to worry about. Get your video, audio, lights, songs, and a family-oriented DJ needs met at one great price. Call us today at 610-5679 and let the show begin. Foundations. Your work must be grounded upon solid rock, and so should your faith. Join Pastor Louis Wade Jr. weekly for Foundations Bible Study, where he goes deep into the Word of God with biblical teachings for better understanding.
And Jacob said, if you bless me, and if you are with me, and if you take me to that place, and if you bring me back, you will be my God. And God said, okay, you were too fool, but I will walk with you nonetheless.
Tune in on Plus TV Sundays 9:30 a.m. for a new program, or catch the repeats on Mondays 11 a.m. and Thursdays 11 a.m. and 8:30 p.m. We would love to hear from you. Write in and share your thoughts, prayer requests, or even post questions you may have regarding the Bible passages. Email plustvbelize@gmail.com. Foundations. Unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain.
Do you enjoy learning and wanting to know more about Christ our Savior? Then join Phil Sanders in Search of the Lord's Ways every Sunday 7:30 a.m. and 8:30 a.m. on Plus TV for half an hour of beautiful hymns and Bible messages. Messages are repeated on Tuesdays at 1:30 and Fridays at 10:30 a.m. Search in the Word for God's will. Know more and do more for the God we love. In Search of the Lord's Ways with Phil Sanders is being brought to you by the Church of Christ in your area. Be sure to visit.
Mopping, tiles, furniture, and...
Miss, you don't need all of this, man. Only this you need. We make 4 out of this. And it's cheaper than all of them put together.
I want it.
Green Clean. All your cleaning needs in one bottle.
Benny's is kicking off Father's Day with popping deals for dad. In the month of June, visit a Benny's near you and get 19 to 25% off selected items such as Milwaukee and Axie power tools, Charbroil barbecue grills, car care products, Karcher pressure washers, and much, much more. Make dad happy with popping deals for dad in June, only at Benny's.
Benny's, Benny's, oh, Benny's, 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 oh.
Did you hear about the beef?
No, what happened?
I'm making meatloaf.
No.
Lewis is making meatloaf. Joel's making burgers. Anthony's making burgers.
For the bread, we are doing croutons, and the bread will soak it with milk, and that will embrace the flavor for the meatloaf to make it juicy.
It's hot.
We have to let go one of them, So I wish them good luck to the other contestants for the final.
Proudly sponsored by Grill Master, Beef Masters, Rustino's Imports, and Plus TV. Other sponsors include Tri Fitness Club, Alan Paradise Hotel.
of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, if I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go? Where would I go? Where would I spread my bed? Where would I lay my head? Nobody know, nobody know. If I ever had to leave me home, no other place I ever roam could be like Belize, be like Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize, sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. Creole and Garifuna.
Plex Home Builders is the largest house building company in Belize. Plex combines the best skilled workers, high-grade materials, and the latest technology to produce the highest quality wooden residential structures. Request any size, color, and the home layout you want. Choose from hardwood or painted metal outer walls. Plex can modify any of your existing house plans to your satisfaction, complete with all the installation services you need anywhere in the country, including ambergris key. They can also lift your house to your desired height up to 9 feet. From properly treated and cured lumber to quality sidings and floorings, let Plex Home Builders give your home the finish you need. For prices or questions, call 823-0398 or go to www.plexhomebuilders.com. Plex Home Builders, we build to suit your needs.
Hello Belmopan, welcome back to the second segment in this series of the Trade License Act 2024. I'm Councillor Chris Enriquez, and today we'll be discussing your business productive footprint and how it impacts your trade license fee. Let's break it down. Your business's productive footprint is the square footage of the area where your operations are conducted. It excludes common spaces such as agricultural lands, lobbies, restrooms, stairways, parking lots, storerooms, and shared hallways, unless they are used for profit. Your business falls under an economic classification based on your business type. This classification, as well as your zone, will further determine the rate applied to your business.
Hi, I'm Lauren Milton. I'm the Evaluation Manager here at the Belmopan City Council. I know a lot of people keep wondering what we're measuring when we visit their business. So let's take a closer look at what productive footprint looks like for the different types of businesses. As you can see, we measure the area used for business purposes only. This includes retail space, dining areas, or workspaces. For example, here's how the productive footprint is calculated for a coffee shop, a supermarket, and an office space, specifically an accounting firm. Let's take a coffee shop for instance. Here we see the kitchen, the bar, and the dining areas as productive space. What's noteworthy here is that a restaurant and an ice cream parlor has similar productive space as a coffee shop. Next, we have a supermarket. For this business, we measure the entire retail floor, including aisles, checkout counters, and display areas. The storerooms and employee break areas are excluded since they are not used to generate direct sales. Lastly, we look at an accounting firm office. The productive footprint here includes the client reception, conference rooms, and workspaces where the business's services are provided. Excluded are areas like break rooms, restrooms, kitchen, and non-operational storage. As you can see, productive footprint is the usable square footage where your business is conducted. This excludes common areas like lobbies, restrooms, and parking spaces, except in cases where these areas are used for profit. Remember, productive footprint looks different for different businesses, so be sure to accurately measure your premise to ensure your fees reflect your footprint. It is important to note that Schedule 8 of the Trade Licensing Act sets fixed trade license fees for specific classifications such as traveling professionals and auto dealers.
Knowing your economic classification and accurately measuring your productive footprint isn't the only factor in your trade license process. You must also consider that there are 4 municipal zones and that your business is located in one of them. Each zone has a different guideline that will affect the rate applied to your trade license fee. As a reminder, the new Trade License Act takes effect on January 1st, 2025. Businesses without a trade license by then are subject to penalties and fees. So we encourage everyone to apply early before the deadline, December 31st, 2024. Stay tuned to our next segment where we will answer your key questions. Thank you for watching, and let's build a prosperous Belmopan together.
Start the new year with big savings on your 2025 property taxes. From January 1st to March 31st, 2025, the Belize City Council is offering incredible property tax discounts that you won't want to miss. Prepay your annual property tax by January 31st, 2025 and enjoy 15% off. Pay by February 28th and you'll save 10%. And if you pay by March 31st, you'll still enjoy a 5% discount. But wait, there's more. Senior citizens can enjoy a fantastic 35% discount upon full payment of property taxes for the property they reside on all year round. Please note, these discounts are available only to property owners who are up to date with their accounts. As you take advantage of this discount, we kindly remind all property owners of your responsibility to visit City Hall or utilize our online platform to complete your payments and to ensure your contact information is accurately updated in our system. For more details on these incentives, visit our Belize City Council Facebook page or give us a call at 227-3073, extension 261 or 264. Your Belize City Council, always about the people.
Every project starts with the right tools. At Builders Hardware, we got everything to get the job moving. Tools, paint, plumbing, electrical, garden, it's all here from construction start to finish. We're also offering a different kind of power tool. Order anytime, anywhere. Pick up in store or get it delivered to your home. Go to shopbuildersbz.com today and save money with our exclusive online deals. Builders Hardware, making it easier.
Tuesday morning. We are just running a little bit behind, but you will understand why in a few minutes' time. It's a very beautiful day across the nation of Belize, and very good news as we step up. I think we step up in this new program that's being introduced at University of Belize here in Belmopan. A little bit more on that later, but it's Tuesday, the 10th of June. We're halfway through the year already. That's what June means. And we are 10 days, of course, into the rainy season, or the hurricane season as we know it. Thankfully, the basin, Caribbean basin, is clear at this time. But it's Tuesday morning, so let me say good morning to my Tuesday morning co-host, Kerm Timbrell. Kerm, good morning to you. Yes. Thank you so much for joining us.
It's a pleasure to be here this morning. I feel like this week somehow there's so much going on.
Yeah, nationally and internationally, actually. Man, the world is getting ready to burn again. Again. I thank God for how we teachers and with public servants do their protests. When I see what happened in LA, I say I think we're still a wonderful country in spite of our difficulties.
Very democratic, very peaceful. But so much going on. I had to get up early this morning and just quiet my soul, you know. I had to pull out a psalm this morning, you know. So I was up from like after 4, just thinking about all that needs to happen this week, but really amazed at what happened yesterday in terms of my accomplishments.
Okay.
I did the same thing. I'm just saying this because I know we have people who are very busy on the other side of this screen and even in studio this morning, right? And I had to say, man, like, you know, how am I going to get through all of this? But I took the Psalms. I quiet myself. And last night when I checked, I was like, oh, wow, look at what I accomplished. It was amazing. And so I'm hopeful that today's going to be the same.
Well, it's going to be a beautiful day. I'm going to give the general forecast for this morning, which, of course, the weather calls for. The general situation is going to be relatively moist. East to southeasterly air flow that is going to prevail, and for the next 24 hours we can expect sunny with some cloudy spells today, partly cloudy skies tonight. Showers will be generally isolated with a medium chance of a few more occurring mainly over, showers will be generally isolated with a medium chance of a few more occurring mainly over the north this afternoon, and then the extreme south tonight. It always rains in the extreme south. What's a real weather? Marine conditions, winds are blowing from the east to southeast at 10 to 20 knots with sea state moderate and waves 4 to 6 feet. And temperatures, it's going to be 95 degrees inland as the high and 73 as the low, with the coast 88 degrees Fahrenheit and 81 as the low, and in the hills 82 degrees Fahrenheit as the high with 68 as the low. Outlook for Wednesday and Wednesday night, skies will be partly cloudy to cloudy showers. Shower activity will be generally isolated with a few more expected mostly over the south. Wednesday night. So, and again, as I said, the Caribbean basin is clear, so we don't have to worry. But because it is June, because we are in the hurricane season, we always encourage Belizeans to start from now. Put aside a non-perishable item. It could be a tin of sausage. Every day or every time you go to the shop, just buy a little something extra that you put inside your bag, and then you separate it. You place it somewhere in your home, in your cupboard, in your closet, in your whatever, in a little box in the corner, and you just keep it there for the hurricane season, so that if anything comes up, you don't have to be rushing all over the place, complain about prices increasing, traffic jams. You will be safe and set because you have your hurricane supply set aside. Put one flashlight, and you also put one radio or something like that in there, so that you're set and ready in case there are any emergencies. So we just want to remind you of that, and if you do that just a little bit of time, $2, $3 each time, you won't feel it when something happens. At the end of the hurricane season, you can decide what you're going to do with your box of goodies. You can donate it to Red Cross, one of the orphanages, Hedges. We have different ministries that you can donate it to, or you can put it right back into your groceries and eat. So there's always something to do with that box once you put it together. But emergencies require the spending of a lot of money in a very short period of time, and that itself is an emergency for people who are just living paycheck to paycheck. So there's always a way. With that, let's say good morning to our team of experts that are here with us this morning. I think some of them need no introduction. Dr. Vincent Palacio is the president of the University of Belize, and we have also here Dr. Lisa Johnson, who is the dean of the newly minted and has been functioning just for a little time because I saw the building and so on, UB School of Medicine. And I will also take this opportunity to introduce and welcome to Belize Holy Curview Professor Chukwuemeka Nokocha. Man, I gave about 30% correct. But our welcome is 100%. It's a pleasure having you, Professor Chuck, with us. And we introduce one of the students enrolled in the program, Swami Palacio, here with us.
Yeah. I'm outnumbered in my house.
Yes, okay, there you go. well, the president, I always boast that the president of the University of Belize is my friend and colleague.
Yes,
so,
I have to join the list of boasting.
It's a pleasure to have this team with us from the University of Belize this morning. And good morning, Dr. Palacio. It's a pleasure having you with us.
Good morning, good morning. I was practicing how I refer to you this morning. Louis is my classmate from high school.
Yes.
Good colleague and also pastor, of course. And I must congratulate you on being a new senator.
Thank you.
So I'll figure out how I'll address you throughout the
call the gardener. It's a pleasure having you this morning.
Yes.
I mean, quite good news from the University of Belize. I think you have your first cohort already.
We do.
And the program is already in progress. But talk to us a little bit about how you see the University of Belize now with the Faculty of Medicine contributing to national development.
Yes. Again, even before we get to the School of Medicine, the National University is doing its job. We are meeting national needs. And from the day I stepped in there as the head of that institution, that was my drive. That was what I wanted to accomplish. So we're doing this one step at a time. And the medical school is a game changer for us. It's extremely important. I will not get into the detail of it because we have the dean here who will tell us about it. But to tell you just quickly, host, about some of our recent programs, I'd like to kind of speak about research that has been happening at UB that is also transforming us to make us more relevant as a university. This past year, we had over 22 research going on at the university. Faculty members, graduate students, and so they published the findings of the different research. So again, a lot of people feel like we're not doing research at the university, but we are. And we had a ceremony on Friday where we congratulated them. We gave them a small gift from the university. Our research office is now equipping them, providing support, financial support for them to do research. So now our faculty member can apply in-house to get money to do their research. The last time I was here, I spoke about our journal. Now we have a journal of research. So you do the research and there's an avenue for you to publish. So that's very important.
It's online or
it's online, but we also have hard copies.
Physical, very good.
But we have it online for mass circulation. You know, information, data, we have to get it out.
Very good.
Yes, that's very, very important to us. So again, with that, I want us to talk about the School of Medicine.
Yes, very good, very good. Well, Dr. Johnson, you're first time with us at PlusTV, but it's certainly a pleasure. I see you on other channels as you promote the virtues of the institution. It's a pleasure having you with us this morning. Dean of the School of Medicine. I mean, you're cutting ground. Talk to us a little bit about the importance of this big move for the university.
Thank you very much for having us, Senator, and congratulations on your appointment. We would like to say that the University of Belize has always, in its soon-to-be 25-year history, tried to make itself relevant to Belize as a developing nation and as well to provide access to Belizeans of quality education, tertiary level education. And so what the medical school is sort of the manifestation of the next step of what this university has been doing, can do, and will do for Belize in the future. I think we learn a lot of lessons from COVID. The world around us can close down very easily, and then you're left to sort out your own issues by yourself. And it stark reality of being able to take care of your own people. And how do you do that? You must have quality professionals. And how do you get that? You must seek to train and prepare quality professionals to serve your country and to serve the world. And so that's in its global outlook, but from a national or personal to patient, to a particular patient, to have people trained in country, trained at home, but trained at an international standard, so they will always have access to the ability to go and specialize elsewhere. It's important, I think, for the patient. When we did a series of community outreach within the last month or so. We were at Cashew Festival, Made in Belize Fest, and Agricultural Show. And the people that came to our booth and that our students primarily spoke to, you could see the pride that people had in we have a School of Medicine, but when they sat down and talked to these students, you could see that reaction and the pride, and we're looking, when you're finished, you definitely saw that we as a country need this, and that we can do it. That is the other thing, to have the confidence to do it ourselves. It's not that we won't get help and we won't get advice and we won't have people coming in to give us a hand, like our visiting professor Nokacha, but we are capable of doing this and we're going to do it.
No, the nursing school at the very inception of UCB into UB, the School of Nursing was incorporated into the process right from the very beginning, and then I am a proud graduate of the university many moons ago.
But as a technical graduate myself, I consider myself as
an extension of the school. So I remember, the environment has also been a very, very strong part of the schools, environmental studies, etc. So quite a few environmentalists are coming from that stream. So the nurses are already coming. But medicine is more or less like at the top of that academic achievement, to be able to produce medical doctors and then specialization as time goes by. So it is a strengthening of the sciences, the Faculty of Science, in a sense, within the school, because, science is what is going to help to, not just environmental science. I have my problem. I got my bias. Not necessarily for, but also against, because if a country begin to have too much environmentalists, we don't want to touch this, we don't want to touch that, we don't want to touch the other. That's why I say it's not a bias for, it's actually a bias against. And environmental is good because we do have an environment that is sensitive, barrier reef, etc. So I'm not taking away from that. But then you need that balance, you need that group of scientists that is going into unknown places. Just like you have the sciences where they say we need to preserve. You need the science also that is heading in, that's developing. So, and I think this is something that we should all celebrate as a nation. Like what you said, no wonder the students when the students go out to these different festivals, Belizeans embrace it, because we do still see this as a major step forward. Now, how many years and what year are we, and how do you unroll that program as the years go by?
So it's a 5-year MBBS program, and classes started on September 30th, 2024. So we are in the latter half of semester 2 of year 1. The first 2 years are preclinical, and then 3 years of clinical training. That will be followed by having then gained the MBBS, an 18-month period of internship, and then they will be fully registered as general practitioners. By that time, we also hope to have rolled out Doctor of Medicine or specialization programs in family medicine and emergency medicine, taking over a program that is already underway at the Carl Huchner Memorial Hospital.
That's awesome. What's the size of the student body that has already?
Well, our first cohort was 9 students, all Belizeans, and we have a cap of 35. Reason being the available clinical space. Our accreditation bodies want to see a specialist or consultant to student ratio between 1 to 4 to 5 students. So we can't take in more students than the tertiary hospitals can handle.
Okay.
Very good.
Well, in terms of the cost factor, because my daughter is in ORU, and it was my rude awakening in terms of what these things can become very costly when you go internationally. How does it fit into our people here in terms of their ability
you mean like
to afford
price per credit
yes.
per credit
or per the course
It's
itself?
a little. Rather than have a price per credit hour, because it's mixed. There are some courses that have credit hours and there are some that don't. In the sense of the clinical clerkships are more about the apprenticeship part of and the weeks spent in a particular specialty. But right now, our published fees on our website, ubsom.ub.edu.bz, gives a total of 39,000 Belize dollars per year. Tuition at 29.2, various fees, I think totaling a little over 7,000. Full medical insurance, the accreditation insists on that because you know, these students, when, for example, we were in COVID lockdown, the Faculty of Health Sciences, of which I was dean at that time, the nurses, lecturers and students and the pharmacists and the medical laboratory scientists and social workers were the first ones back. We were back in the hospitals. We went in lockdown in March. We were back in the hospitals by May, June. So, and it came from the students. The students requested to go back.
Wow.
It's an extremely proud moment for everyone at University of Belize, because that means that they got it.
Yes.
This is why you're training.
They understand the call.
They understand the call.
Understand the mission.
Precisely. And so, so full medical insurance, and of course books. They are still quite very expensive, and so, but to offset that, we have 2 things. One, we have a qualifying entrance and scholarship exam that we set. That performance above a B can get you into various tiers of tuition waiver, 100%, 75, 50, 25%. We're giving 5 of those to the top performers in the exam, as well as the University of Belize itself will be providing non-cash grants to successful applicants, because we understand that that this is unusual, local tertiary education, but at this level, the investment is totally beyond what has occurred before, and somebody has to pay for it. But we understand what the average family and so has to go through. So we want to provide a package that would be easily taken to DFC and so on for
student loans.
Right.
Yeah.
So we are giving this year's intake a non-cash grant that should bring the cost down to about 20,000 per year for everything that the university. But they will, of course, will ask to sign for community service and service to the nation. And so as long as they can fulfill and are willing to sign to that bond, we will bond them on behalf of service.
Well, let me just show a little perspective.
Sure.
My daughter applied to do her master's. She just graduated with her bachelor's. At Pepperdine, it's an 18-month program. And it's
Bachelor's in? She's doing what?
No, and that's in international business.
Okay,
international business.
And so her master's, okay.
And it would have been 140,000 US. So I'm just showing a little bit of perspective. That it sounds like a very good deal to me.
Yeah.
But just so students can appreciate.
Medicine is more expensive.
But hear this though. You could do it here at home.
That's right.
That is a huge value for us parents. Parents here. And imagine they'll have to worry about rental, etc. Right here at the preclinical in Belmopan. And the clinical may be in Belize, or even here in Belmopan. So again, it's a really good deal.
We're very much looking forward to Belmopan's new hospital.
Yes, the tertiary
we hope
hospital.
that gets going quickly.
Yeah. All right, Professor Nokocha, it's a pleasure having you with us this morning. How long have you been working at the facility? How long in Belize, and how it looks so far?
So far so good. I've been here since January, and it's just been wonderful. Yes, I can say I will congratulate the president and the dean. They have done quite a job, and it's all about growing up the place. But I think, apart from what the dean is telling you about what is on ground, she's also not telling you about the School of Medicine's involvement in the corporate community responsibilities. So one of the things that we've been doing is, again, we've been trying to also see how we collaborate with the medics who are already on ground. Because I know there seems to be this kind of mentality of people training from different institutions. And the School of Medicine has also tried to see how we can think about giving things like continuing education. We'll be able to do that with some of the lectures we've given. But one of the very important things we've done is the concept of research, which I've mentioned. Because in any accreditation, we are looking at the issues of what resources you have on ground, and these resources have to do with both human and material resources, but also to think about our own homegrown technology. We're just discussing that outside. Now, one of the problems we have with medical education is that oftentimes we rely on what we see in the textbooks, which can be maybe generated from a Canadian population or a British population, which may not be the same thing with our own health indices. And here at the School of Medicine, since my arrival, of course, with the help of the dean, we have been able to institute some research. So it's a growing and very young school, but we're already making impact in society, which is one of the things that any school looks out to. So it's not only about training the students, but also to be able to reach out to the community, to be able to make the community feel the impact of the institution, and also to be able to harness whatever health index or indices that can be useful in the management of the people's ailments. That, of course, is one of those things that we have to look out for. So we can't just rely on those indices coming from Canada or coming from Africa. We have to have our own, based on our own racial, of course, gender stratification. And of course, currently, we are already engaged in 3 very big researches. On hypertension, we're also looking at the effect of nutrition, the nutrition.
You jump right into it, into the middle of the issues that we have.
Right. Because nutrition actually, like when I was consulting, we are what we eat. And we find that nutrition cuts across all the stratifications of health, with hypertension, diabetics, obesity, cancer. So if we're able to understand nutrition, and yes, we're also having discussion at the level of the UB, we can think about how we can use that knowledge to better the nutritional inputs of the population. I know the president, of course, had hinted about how we can talk about issues of fortifying our diets, understanding how our diets impact our health. Some of those things will be part of the outcome of the research which we are currently engaged in. And not only looking at that, we're also hoping that these researches will go a long way towards modifying the policy of the nation. So we see that the School of Medicine is in that vacuum to reach out not only to governmental issues, but also to community awareness, and also to train the students who will become the doctors that are going to take care of this population in the long run. So yes, we are already doing so much, even though we are a young institution, and I think we're going to do a lot more going forward.
So your commitment to Belize, short term, long term, medium term,
well,
we still need to make. Where are we on the spectrum of here?
Well, you see, one of the things that happens is that wherever you go to, be the best you can be. Wherever you are, you have to give a commitment to make sure, even if you're leaving tomorrow, at least make sure you are able to
leave a stamp.
So, well, even if I'm here temporarily, I think we are creating something wonderful. We're creating something wonderful. And remember, it is not only for the students, it is not only for the members of staff, because the researches we're doing is also to create that awareness, because when it comes to accreditation, they will also want to know how engaged in the research are the people who work in the institution. They want to know how you're able to take that data from the community and translate it to managing the health of the individual. And creating this awareness is one of the things that we're trying to foster. Because if, for example, we have young doctors coming out, we don't just expect them to just be giving prescriptions. They should be able to know whether the drugs they're giving are actually going to work, and how are they working, but also how do they work with regards to the population, as the case may be. I give an example a lot of times when I teach them. I say, take an example of treatment of hypertension. Why is it that we have it so bad among the Black African population? Because most of the data we actually created based on the clinical trials that was focused on the whites and Caucasians. So if your textbook tells you give this drug 50 milligrams, the body weight, you give it to somebody who is a white, it works for him. You give it to somebody who is a black, it is still down. But when we understand those issues that kind of work with regard to our biochemistry and physiology and our makeup, and how this kind of works with issues of the race, we can now think about how to modernize and how to impact the people in a better way. And that, of course, will also be cost saving. We won't have to spend so much money wasted on not achieving, because again, the population is our focus.
Yeah, that's very good. Now, before we introduce the student, let's talk a little bit about accreditation of the program itself.
But maybe before that, Pastor, if we could ask Professor to tell us about his credential himself, because the reason why I thought it was important that he join us is because our students are exposed to the best. He's here from the University of the West Indies School of Medicine. He could tell us more about you.
Sure.
Some publications. Just tell us about yourself, Prof.
Okay.
Them you for telling about the I have to go in a Creole and
I used to tell people that I'm an underfunded, underpaid quasi-scientist. But actually, I'm a teacher, I'm a scientist. I am more of a scientist. I actually enjoy research. I have a PhD in medical physiology, and I have another PhD in environmental health, and of course several masters and all whatnot. So I have been in this university all my life.
Lifetime student.
Well, kind of. And I am also intending to use that knowledge and that experience to contribute to the growth of this place. Yes, with regards to publications, I would say I am based on Google indexes and based on stratification, I am a hypertension expert. Renowned hypertension expert in the world. I am kind of based on Google stratification again. I am in the 5% topmost ranking in the world when it comes to research in heavy metal and hypertension. So of course I've done a lot of research and publications with regards to hypertension, environmental issues like heavy metal and pollution as it affects things like hypertension, diabetes and cancer. So yes, I have most likely 120 peer-reviewed publications in the top-tier journals in the world.
I would have not even thought that heavy metals would have had an impact upon.
Oh, it's a very big part. It's a very big part of the discussion. In fact, we are looking at it from the issue of the environment. No, so I just said a little while ago that we are what we eat.
Yes.
So apart from the fact that I can tell the students, it will actually kind of you'll be surprised when I tell you that.
You're seeing a part 2. Serious.
When I tell you that everything we know about hypertension so far is just 20%. More than 88% of what causes hypertension still remains unknown. So even though we can stratify based on the genetic pool, on racial identities, on gender, and issues of stress and at what level, we're finding that there are a lot of other variables that are actually working in there. So our diet is there, our environment is there. But I will tell you, coming to Belmopan, I will say that maybe people in Belmopan may not be as exposed with all the pollution. This seems to be a very serious and well-kept
we
place.
fight to keep it green, Professor.
So the pollution is actually one of the things. In fact, I am also part of the research team that is looking at the health and environment in the whole of the Caribbean. We just a special looking at the whole aspect of health as can be affected by the environment, which is a very big part. So what we inhale and what we eat, because most of these heavy metals are actually in our soil. So it's only when we're able to go in there and pick it up and find that we're able to see these linkages. And when we see these linkages, then we can think about how then to ameliorate these situations.
You pick the best man.
Well, I just wanted to
ask you the whole of fishing.
exposed to when they come to the
No, that's excellent.
It's linked to the fact that everything that we have done from the very start has been based on the road, to put us on the road to accreditation. And so we were introduced to Professor Nokocha through Professor Cummings, the former dean of the medical school at the University of Guyana, and currently their deputy vice chancellor. He has been our close advisor that has guided us along this path with the ultimate goal of becoming an accredited medical school. And so the introduction came there, and once you read his very thick CV, then it became, he was going into sabbatical.
Okay.
And so we were,
it matched up,
This is a great case of sabbatical.
And that's what we want to do, to put the students that we have in the presence of experts.
They will accept nothing less after this.
And so we're doing it in person here with Prof, but we're also doing it online through, so I think it was about a month ago, we have one of our faculty members is a cardiovascular surgeon trained in Algeria and France. And so she teaches anatomy, and they were doing the heart in particular. And so she has a mentor in France who does outreach to medical schools all over the world. So she set up a session for our students with her mentor. And she came out of that quite beaming because the students did so well. She was so proud. And so this is also the same class that one day I drove into work and found them under a tree outside. It was really hot, and even the AC, and they just had to mix things up. And they sat down on the ground under a tree, and they were doing their class. We have that freedom. We know that students learn in different ways. And so we are trying to give our people the freedom to assist our students in learning. It's so much material in the best ways possible.
That's good. So let's introduce one of these students. That's right. Swamming.
The end is nasal.
Okay, it's nasal, so it's swarming.
Yeah.
All right. I'm still a student on that. Good names I spoiled. Imagine the great names. Well, it's a pleasure having you with us this morning. And tell us a little bit about your experience at the UB School of Medicine. Why the decision, first of all, to say, I'm going to stay in Belize and I'm going to study?
Well, thank you, Pastor. Well, when it came to my decision on why I decided to stay at the UB School of Medicine, outside of wanting to stay at home, of course, like a lot of the Belizeans who are interested in medicine, they feel as if they have to go abroad, they have to go to America, or they have to go to Cuba, or they have to go to Mexico in order to get a valid education. And when you go to a next country, especially a country that speaks a different language than the one you grew up in, it can be a challenge to adapt. And especially in medicine, a challenging course to take. Imagine having to learn another language on top of that if you don't already speak. So like staying here at home in Belize, being able to, where I live just like 2 minutes away from my school, it's a very preferable alternative to going outside of the country.
Now, what qualification did you have before you enrolled? Like, what's the process? I know you finished primary high school, but the associate degree, like,
Sure.
for you, what was the path?
Well, I first entered UB getting my associates in biochemistry, and then I transferred also to do the associates in pre-medical science, and that's because the biochemistry and pre-medical science they have the same science courses as the requisites to complete. So on top of the science, I just had to do some math and general courses to get the pre-med. So now I have an associate's in both biochemistry and pre-medicine. And you don't even need to go that route. Some of my classmates have a bachelor's in biology, they have a bachelor's in biochemistry or just chemistry. And they can test in depending on their qualifications to even not have to have a certain degree in associates in pre-medicine to go to the medical school. They can just come in even if they don't have any medical academic background.
And for you, you always wanted to be a doctor. So let's say before the discussion of the UB School of Medicine, what were the struggles in your mind and what were the thoughts in your mind? I mean, were you already set on medicine? Was it like a lot, because you guys have had a successful lab technician and laboratory engineer and so on, and you've had successful programs. So were the struggles in that direction, or how did you mentally process before there was a School of Medicine, how you would accomplish your vision for yourself?
Well, during high school, I had a very big problem personally when it came to deciding what I wanted to do as a career option. I at least knew that my career would mostly be driven into science because I was always a 3 science student in high school. Science is a subject that I was interested in the most out of all the other subjects, even if I didn't have a defined career picked out already. And when I was at the University of Belize and other institutions beforehand, my mind was always geared towards somewhere in the sciences, maybe research or marine biology or medical science. But the science I was interested in was always geared towards helping people. And the medical school, really, that option came up at the perfect time, and it was the choice that fit me the best. So that was how my decision was.
Perfect.
Yeah. Awesome, man. I'm just enjoying the show. You guys make me feel like I want to go back to school, actually.
Well, I
Tell us,
no age limits.
Right? Tell us how being under the professor has impacted you.
Yeah.
Well, being under Professor Chucks, as we like to call him, and all our other teachers and professors, it's been a challenging but interesting experience that has really sparked a passion in all of us students.
Yes.
Because we're really getting our hands dirty, as they would say, like literally and figuratively, because like over a month ago we had a pig dissection. We dissected a pig and we examined its anatomy. We went to Central Farm, the UB Central Farm. And aside from that, we go every week into the hospital and we observe actual doctors talk to actual patients. And we even get involved ourselves. The doctor tells us to go and take patient history. And in the classroom, we're learning the exact things that one would expect out of a medical school. We're starting out learning the basis of the body, the anatomy, the physiology, embryology, under the microscope, all these different subjects that gear us towards in the future, in the next years of our education, going to have to be at the hospital as our form of school. So we won't even be in the classroom anymore. So it's been a challenging experience, but with my classmates, we're figuring it out together, and it's really a bond between us, trying to survive in this.
It has to be hard because people will say, "Doctor, fix me."
Exactly.
After we done the fool,
Exactly.
stay up all night, eat all the wrong food.
A lot of us about your research experience of going out to the community.
Come to the doctor? Yes, sure.
They've also gone to the community. Tell us about the research experience. The research experience has been one of the highlights because, as Dean Johnson said, we've been going to events like Cashew Fest and the Agricultural Ground to go into meet the public and we were taking their blood pressure. We have blood pressure monitor cuffs, and we ask them questions regarding their nutrition and their lives and their habits that could affect their nutrition. Nutrition affects non-communicable diseases like diabetes and hypertension. So it's been it's like gratifying to see people get a sigh of relief when they realize, oh, my blood pressure isn't that bad. Or, even if it is bad, we could give them some of the education we've been learning, and tell them the things that can affect their blood pressure. Or even call over Professor Chooks or Dean Johnson or one of the other doctors that would go with us to talk to the patient, and we can observe how the anamnesis process would go, that being the interview between the doctor and the patient. I would see Dean Johnson sit down and talk. Oh, hello, I'm Dean Johnson. What's going on? What are you experiencing? And then they'd talk to them, and they'd figure out a resolution that have them walking away feeling more at ease with what they're going through.
Well, after this week, you'll be when Dr. Bourbon.
What I wanted to chip in on that is that even at this very early beginning, they're having a practical experience where they're already beginning to interact with people.
Right.
And all about medicine is about internship. You observe, you learn, and you get better. So when you see a young medical student being able to interact with patients, being able to, assess the patient's health, because not every patient is going to tell you everything that's wrong with him or her, and being able to extract the information and then make a decision, which is very, very essential. So you see that the students we have now, the school is designed in such a way that we're already exposing them to things that many people are not exposed to in many other schools out there. So this is, of course, a plus. The students are really beginning to get their hands dirty. They begin to know the nitty-gritty and understand the practicability of how this process works out. So the point I'm making is that for any prospective person or student out there, I think the school has started quite well. I think even though we're young, there's a lot of things that are coming into place to make sure that we have a doctor, not only who is qualified, but who has all-round knowledge to be able to deal with the needs of the healthcare. I mean, yes, one of the things I've heard about since I came here is that some Belizeans they have these skepticism when it comes to medical practitioners.
Yes.
It happens in other countries. I know in Jamaica, there are still people who prefer to go to Florida to get their health care, and they sort of that people prefer to go to any of the developed world. But I think if we have a doctor who has that all-round mentality, who understands the local needs, who also understands the health diversity in the country, who also understand the implications and the variabilities that are present, that individual is well equipped to be able to look at the patient and understand the patient's problem and actually make a better diagnosis.
That is such a solid point for even those who are contemplating medicine to think about what UB is offering and will be offering into the future. Because it's after a person, before that person goes out of the country to train, they know practically nothing about medicine. They know practically nothing. They just know they want to be there. They go out into another country. They're learning the best practices of those other countries, be it Cuba, Taiwan, all of these places that you have mentioned. And it is only after they return and begin to practice, they begin to now say, okay, they're beginning to make links of what's happening in Belize.
Yeah.
It is going to take a whole learning curve to adjust from wherever they were doing their medicine to. Yes, they will be able to bring some stuff across, but it's true that every population it's diverse. It's diverse and different as well. These students get from the very beginning to begin to understand the dynamic, the Belizean, the local dynamic, and I think that is absolutely going to be the most important factor, because they will hit the ground running. I mean, they're hitting the ground already. That's what you're really saying. You know, a doctor that comes in, they come in so very green, and it will take them a number of years before they begin to understand the local dynamics.
Here's the dilemma you'll have to help me solve.
Yeah.
Swami is the only male in his cohort.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's
we need more men in
that's a problem. We need more men in so many things. In education in general.
We need more diversity.
Yeah.
I would like to just repeat what I heard earlier in terms of one of the strengths of the program that I really believe is key. The quality of expert that you bring in. It does not make your school a new school, because here we're tapping into decades of research and experiences that you personally have that you're giving first onto these students. So yeah, I know the program might have started last year, but it's not in effect last year, if you understand what I'm trying to say here, because of the level of expertise. Not only that, but we train in the GLS, and our faculty are experts from around the world. We always bring in professors from the major universities, and one of the things that they always drive is the significance of data collection.
Yes.
Data is what matters, because it helps us to understand more and what adjustments and what changes we can then implement. And so I love the approach of collecting data in a cultural perspective, because Belize needs help. I wish the Minister of Education would be listening this morning and ask the question, Professor, what does it take to keep you here, sir?
Well, we'll talk about that after.
The door is open. The door is open.
Let me tell you what you just said. Since we arrived, and since to even start the data collection, you have to go through the process of getting all the required approvals, ethics approval, the institutional review board approvals, which we got. But I'll tell you that the dean has been able to mobilize all members of staff, the students. We have been able to also get people from the Faculty of Health Science. And I will tell you that when I look at the last number we have, it will actually impress you that we have actually been able to, so far, get data that is over 1,000 plus individuals. Wow. Now, by the time we're still in the process. But going to these kind of festivals, it's not just really to collect the data, but like I said, we are actually giving people what they will get by paying money if they go to the doctor. So imagine you come to a doctor takes all your indices and you pay. But we're giving this free of charge, without any collection. Secondly, we are also, for those who are volunteering, collecting this data so that we can know the background of the Belizean health indices. We need to have that. Right. We can't just assume that blood pressure is 120/80, that's the normal, or the BMI, we know what the value is. But we know, for example, that the Belizean population, or the individual, or the typical Belizean, has a different body size with the typical British. Of course, there's what we call the issues of politics and health. We know that, yes, the BMI, and we go with the standard, but we need to know our own values, because that helps us now to be able to build on it.
Fully agree.
So we're believing by the time we collect as much data, we're able to have data that tells us, that kind of represents the population here. And then when we certify and analyze that, we can be able to say, okay, this is what we are. And not only that, we will piggyback with what is actually happening in the world population. Now, many of the researches have done have not just been local, it's been international. Some of the research we're doing today, we piggyback into that. The main measurement that we are taking, we have over 100 countries participating. And this is the first time Belize is going to be part of it. That's exciting. Nice. So here we're able to see our own data, interrogate, analyze that data with regards to what the population of the world is, see where we fall in, see how we manage our own situation, And also other people who are also other health experts who have a genuine data coming from Belize. Now, how is that helpful? If we know the values and we know the problems, then we can think about the solution.
Yeah, that's right.
And if we don't know the problems, we can't just think about the solution. You can't fix it.
It builds authenticity.
Yes.
That's what it does.
So it means, yes, authenticity is the issue. So we and also Dean and President, permit me to plug in something here. Part of what we are doing, I am not only looking at it from just looking at the UB and school. I think it's also an opportunity to talk to the people, the business community here in Belize, the corporate bodies, that some of these things we're doing, they can sponsor it. Of course. I know people may have money, they don't know what to do with it. Yes. They can sponsor this kind of research because every researcher is a beggar. I mean, you can't do things without money. Yes. And if we have people sponsoring this, we, in the long run, will be able to have a better and healthier Belize. And it just may not take you so much. Just buying an equipment or even buying blood pressure, measuring equipment, something that's is over $70. Some people spend that.
Professor, in the States, this is what I've noticed that in most of the stores you go, even when you purchase online, they give you the opportunity to contribute to the medical research.
That's
truth. Something we don't practice here culturally.
That's the truth.
And today, with the increase in the number of cancer that we're seeing, I think people are becoming more interested to find out how can I contribute, because it's affecting every family across the country.
Yes, and I was telling my dean that there are many ways to contribute. Let's say, for example, if you buy us an ECG machine, we can put your name boldly on it.
Yes.
And it lasts for the ages. You buy us an echolocator or even an ultrasound, you can put your name on it. And if you decide to put up a building at UB, you can have your name and no president will sanction that. There are many ways people can actually contribute. There are many ways people can contribute because if we establish a school of medicine here, it's going to be a flagship, I know it will be a flagship of the University of Belize. Of course. And it's also going to be one of the biggest institutions for the Belize, the country of Belize, which all of us are going to be proud of. So, if you have wonderful, good doctors, and in the middle of the night you have a heart attack, you may be thinking about flying to Florida. At least you can get here first. You have to get supplies here first. Because this is where you are. This is where you are. So invest. Yes. So permit me, Mr. President, this is an opportunity to talk about that. People can invest. It may not cost you so much. I know if you come and meet my dean, he can tell you, we need one equipment or two equipment. And if you want to buy time it for us, that is
I endorse this message.
I endorse the message.
It is going to help you train our doctors.
Yes.
We
we need a part 2. We'd love to have you guys please come back and we will discuss some more.
Here's a quick plug. I know you're looking for places to go to continue the research, and I know you mentioned churches.
Yes,
yes.
The pastor runs one of the larger churches here in the Belmopan area.
And we have a medical outreach.
As well.
We've had at least 4 years of medical outreach where we travel around different parts of the country. We've been to Punta Gorda, Corozal, San Ignacio, Belize City, here in Belmopan, because we have 2 medical doctors that are a part of the church. We have nurses and pharmacists in the church as well. So we pulled them together and created a medical ministry that goes out free. And I was thinking that we'd love to connect
with your students.
Yes.
If you could probably maybe a Sunday after your service, whoever could.
Absolutely. We will work on that because that would be great. That would be great.
But I would love to see also an opportunity created, and we can use these young minds to be able to give us some of the creativity. But how can the normal man contribute? Even if you go and buy a pack of bread at the shop and you buy a tin of milk or something, you need them to be able to have the opportunity to give in every time.
I know in many universities, today we talk about Harvard with 52 billion endowments.
Yes.
Where is this endowment coming from? People put Harvard in their will.
Oh wow.
Right.
It's true.
People put Harvard in their will. I said, when I die, give this resource to Harvard.
It is a culture of giving.
It's a culture of giving. We're not asking you to give your $1, $2, if you want to. But people put Harvard in their will, or maybe, okay, I have so much land, I have 52 acres of land, I can decide to donate that.
Yes.
I mean, imagine if UB, because of the whole of the money Harvard has is based on assets.
Yes.
It's all assets. It may not be physical cash, but it's something that they can actually, when the need for research is needed, they can actually monetize this to be able to get things done. So the normal man can contribute, because remember, even like in the Bible, I know Senator, Jesus commended the widow who gave her widow's mite.
That's right.
And said that she even gave more than the persons who gave from the millions.
That's
right.
So it may look like as if it may be little, but it's the mindset of giving, the mindset of knowing that
we would love to promote a fund like that. We would love to promote something like that. Yeah.
We can make it grow.
Yeah, I can see it.
We can,
I
and then
see it.
now even the young people, I know the young people who are watching this, we can think about the fact that, I mean, when this video clip comes out, sharing it and creating awareness can be a work giving.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was just going to say, Professor, they don't even have to spend any money. They could just spread the word of mouth about the university.
Share it on your WhatsApp,
Listen,
Facebook, on Twitter, so that people can be aware. I will tell you one thing.
Professor, you're trained in marketing. Go ahead, sir.
I am not. I am just talking from the whole of experience I've gathered through the years. I have been fortunate to work in several countries. I've been fortunate to work in several countries.
You're exposed. You're a learned man.
And one of the things I actually will tell you is when you talk about this concept of sharing, even through WhatsApp and social media, the individual, I will tell you in Jamaica, when I came to Jamaica the first time, of course, the majority of our students are all coming from Jamaica and the Caribbean. But I'll tell you today, I have a lot of students coming from Canada, coming from the US, and these are diasporan parents who may have Jamaican origin, who are living in the US, but they found out that they have a school that is comparable to any of the medical school in the United States, and they can send their children back home to do the same training, even at a cheaper cost. Half the cost.
And they're back home.
And they're back home.
They're immersing in their culture.
Home, guess what? There is a ripple effect in the sense that when they are back home, they become enculturized and culturated with what is happening.
Exactly.
Many of us complain that we go abroad and the children lose touch with home. This can be an avenue to reach back home. That's right.
Guys, I am requesting a part 2, please. We need to continue this conversation. Our time is gone, but I would love to continue this conversation because there's still a lot more questions. But probably in wrapping up, Dean, you could tell us, when the next cohort, when applications, what are we looking for? They're like a dream deferred. When we were growing up, there were not as many options. There were not as many options. And so you have to say, okay, well, I can't be this because it's not available. And we literally but now, and through the university and through your work, the avenues are opening up for people to say, yes, that's a dream and I can fulfill it here in my country, etc. So how can people apply? When is the next series of applications? What do they need to have qualifications wise?
Applications are open now. And for our August intake, they'll probably close maybe in the first week of July, but we won't refuse or not answer any application. And the next thing is that the minimum qualifications is an associate degree in pre-medical sciences with a GPA of 3.0 or greater. Pre-medical sciences is biology, chemistry, math as majors with physics as a minor. If you have a bachelor degree and a bachelor of science degree in biology, chemistry, biochemistry, or so any of the natural sciences or the life sciences such as nursing, medical laboratory sciences, pharmacy, and so on, we will accept those again with a GPA of 3.0 or greater. To get information, they can call the Belma Plan campus 822-1000 and ask for the medical school. They can write to us at ubsom@ub.edu.bz or go on our website ubsom.ub.edu.bz, or they can go to the main UB website and find us under academics and click on that and get to our website. And so our application forms are embedded in our website, and they can call us and ask for admissions or ask for the medical school to get to us.
Very good. Doc, some closing comments?
Of course. Thanks for having us. We always look forward to coming here to talk about our new programs. But this year, we are celebrating our 25th anniversary, the University of Belize, our Silver Jubilee. So I will come back another time, maybe outside of our medical school, to tell you about the activities.
It'll tell you that you have to make the arrangement. We want to talk more medicine.
Yeah, we will have a couple weeks of activities, celebrating this Jubilee. So I want to come back to share
Certainly,
that as well.
certainly. Well, it's a pleasure having you, and I have 4 sons, so I'm not going to get away with telling the audience that you are the son of Dr. Vincent Palacio. Not going to get away. I have sons that they like to, they're creating their own world, and that's okay, and you cast a very huge shadow, but you will cast your own. You will cast your own shadow. But it's a pleasure to have you. As I said, your father and I, we go very, very way back to when we were younger than you. We go way back. And so we studied together in the same class, we were friends together and everything. And I'm super proud of your father, as he is super proud of you as well. And you will continue that legacy. You do come from a very, very powerful family, a very, very academic family as well. And there's no reason, no strain, no stress, it's in you. So it's just to be the best that you can be. And so I think it's awesome. You will become one of Belize's first medical doctors, trained and perfected in the nation of Belize, under excellent tutelage, and that's something to be proud of. But you are and will continue to be a man of your own. But we give honor to to those who precede us, and those who made us. So it's an honor to have you with us. Doc, same, and to you, it's a pleasure having you, and let's work on another program. We'd love to talk just some of the sciences, maybe bring some more, either professors, and Professor, we'd love to have you back with us, and some students. No. So thank you all. It's a pleasure. We're unfortunately out of time, but the conversation continues. From all of us here at Rise and Shine, God bless you. See you tomorrow.
Sweet Belize, land of the sand and sea, land of the coconut tree. I love me sweet Belize. Sweet Belize, land of the islands and keys, land of the barrier reef. I love me sweet Belize. If I ever had to leave Belize, where would I go?